bet. Thank you.
He's asking for the shortest speaker so they showed us the height. Would that be you?
I think that's me.
We're good.
We're good.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
This is good to go. Yep.
Need to scoop this a little closer so we don't get any. Anybody against that? If I come with it, oh, you keep yours there. Maybe more like that. Check 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Seems kind of. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's all good. All right.
Hello. Welcome and thank you. Mirak has called. I'm gonna start. Everyone. Huh? So let's Welcome and thank you for coming. Merrick has called this press conference today to expose the terror happening daily in the building behind us, which houses both immigration court and ICE offices for 5 Midwestern states. We have several speakers that work with impacted immigrants. Please hold all questions until the end, and you can address your questions to any of our speakers. Our first speakers are Kelly, Liz, and Montana from Minneapolis, who witnessed ICE kidnap 4 community members outside of their courtroom in this building last week. I am going to bring them up.
Hello, my name is Montana, Montanahirssch.
My name is Liz Zanton, Liz, S as in Samuel, Z as in zebra, Anton.
My name is Kelly Allen, Kellyanallen.
And we are here representing the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee to tell you a little bit about what we witnessed in this building behind us last Wednesday.
So on Wednesday, July 9th, 5 MIRAC members, including the 3 of us, accompanied a community member to his asylum hearing here in this building. We witnessed on this day multiple vicious ICE kidnappings. 3 of our observers went inside the courtroom while 2 of us, including me, stayed outside in the hallway. Soon after the hearing began, we noticed plainclothes ICE officers lurking in the hallway. Over the course of 2 hours, we witnessed these plainclothes officers detain 4 men. The first man we saw left the courtroom soon after Judge Sardelli dismissed his case despite his objections. He walked down the hallway and was tricked by these plainclothes officers, claiming that they had procedural questions about his documents. Before he could answer, they led him away into a locked back room. Inside the courtroom, our observers watched as Judge Sardelli dismissed each case he had, despite their objections, despite they talked about the violence and threats they endured in their home countries and why they were afraid to go home. But it was clear that Judge Sardelli didn't care, that he was going to dismiss each case he heard despite the objections. These people have a right to a fair hearing, and they should be allowed the ability to appeal after a dismissal. Yet, because these people have been here for less than 2 years, this right has been cruelly taken away by the current administration. This is not due process.
As observers, we walked alongside the person we were accompanying to try to escort him out of the building, past the plainclothes ICE officers in the hallway. We took only a dozen steps before the agents descended on us, forcefully broke through our circle, and pulled him away. We asked them repeatedly if we could have 1 minute to speak with him about his rights, and they refused. They dragged him through a door to a locked back room. Another man we met was walking around the waiting room holding the hands of his nephew, a wide-eyed toddler just learning to walk. Soon after, we saw ICE agents grab and detain this man in front of his family, including his 3 young nieces and nephews. We then sat with another man whose case had been dismissed. We warned him of what awaited him in the hallway when he stepped outside the waiting room. He made some phone calls, and we waited for his family to come say goodbye. Even this humanity was robbed from him. ICE was anxious to detain him, so court officials kicked us out of the waiting room. Before he could finish writing a phone number on his arm, ICE agents grabbed him, knocked the pen out of his hand, and shoved his head down. The violence occurring in these sleek marble halls is coordinated and well-rehearsed. While ICE kidnaps asylum seekers in front of their loved ones, judges, lawyers, guards, clerks, and passersby continue with business as usual as though nothing is wrong. We heard ICE agents laughing and whistling while they worked. It has become clear that these kidnappings are now happening in this building every day. ICE agents without warrants, uniforms, or badges are separating asylum seekers from their families, denying them due process, and disappearing them.
So we here with MIRAC would like to say when ICE enters courthouses and hospitals and places of worship, when the branches of this immigration system collude to deny people their right to due process, When the judges and DOJ lawyers both answer to Trump, there is no justice aside from what the people demand and fight for. This cannot go on. We say shame on Judge Sardelli, shame on the clerk who kicked us out of the waiting room, shame on the DOJ, and shame to all who answers to Trump and upholds this rotten system. Shame on ICE for violently kidnapping people in this building behind me. And so MIRAC would like to demand the following from this court. 1, no time limits on staying in the court waiting room. 2, all master hearings be held online. 3, no dismissal over objections. And 4, an end to ICE kidnappings at court. We demand an end to this terror. While we are horrified by what we saw in that building, we are not demoralized, but instead we are fueled by rage that will keep us in the streets and keep us fighting alongside our immigrant neighbors. When ICE came to Lake Street in Minneapolis, we were there to tell them to get out of our city. And this is not the last time you will see us here at the Whipple building. We will continue to fight, and we will continue to fight until we win. ICE out of the courts, ICE out of our cities, no more deportations. When immigrants' rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Suleiman Adan, Deputy Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations in Minnesota, an organization working to defend immigrants, mostly Muslim, from mostly Muslim and African countries.
Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon you all. My name is Suleiman, and I serve as the Deputy Executive Director at CARE Minnesota. We are here today because what's happening in Minnesota courts is not just a legal issue. It's a moral issue and a human rights crisis. Every day we are witnessing ICE weaponize our courthouses, like the ones behind us, turning places meant for justice into traps for deportation. Immigrants are showing up to resolve civil and criminal matters only to be met with fear, surveillance, and removal, often, as we are seeing, without due process. That is not justice, that is entrapment. Immigrants come to courts with courage, expecting fairness, as this country promises, not to be ripped away from their families in hallways like our allies at MIRAC explained, turned into ambush zones. Our classmates, our co-workers, our kin, these are families, these are members of our community that are being impacted. They came here for safety, for opportunity to build dignified lives, and instead, they're being snatched from the systems that promise them justice. At CARE Minnesota, we've walked with families who face this terror, and I want to name that it is terror. We've seen fathers disappear from child custody hearings. We've seen mothers taken outside courtrooms while trying to secure protection orders. This is targeted assaults on Black, brown, and indigenous and immigrant communities here in Minnesota, and it must stop. Let us be clear, courtrooms should never be ICE hunting grounds. When people are afraid to access the legal system, we all suffer. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice surveilled is justice destroyed. Thank you.
Next, please welcome John Benda, a member of Interfaith Coalition on Migration, which has had members observing court hearings since Trump took office and before.
Hello, my name's John Benda. I'm a board member with ICOM, the Minnesota Interfaith Coalition on Immigration. Yeah, John, J-O-H-N, Benda, B like boy, E-N-D-A. ICOM is an organization of people from many faiths and no particular faith that opposes systems like immigrant detention and deportation that dehumanizes people and destabilizes families. Through our aid program, we provide emotional, financial, and logistic support to asylum seekers and people who are in detention and to their families. We also work with our other immigrant rights organizations to advocate for policies that improve the lives of our immigrant neighbors. We hold a monthly vigil right here at the Federal Immigration Court at Fort Snelling. It's the second Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. every month, no matter what the weather is. Come and join us. Just last week, an undocumented man called us. He was extremely upset, crying. Our representative talked to him for over 90 minutes. ICE was outside his door wanting to take him away. He didn't know what to do. Eventually, a relative came and talked to ICE, asked if they had a judicial warrant, which they did not. Fortunately, they ended up leaving, but he was so afraid he called here to see why they had come, because he had been coming to his check-ins and hearings. He thought he was making progress. They said they didn't know anything about this raid at his home and told him to stay inside. So he's afraid to go to work. He's afraid to go and get groceries. We offered to go bring him groceries. He was so afraid. He said he trusted us, but was so afraid that he wasn't willing to give us his address. This is an example of how ICE is dehumanizing and terrorizing people. Our volunteers who do court watch here are telling us the stories like we just heard. Agents waiting outside the court hearing rooms. People think they're free to go, but they get outside and they are apprehended. This man that I was just talking about, when his next hearing comes up, he has no idea what he will do. It's just total chaos for him. Our willingness to show up and say no to these actions is critical, especially now, to protect the rights of our immigrant neighbors and ourselves. Please, all of you, continue to show up, stand up, and speak up, saying no to these actions and yes to building a Minnesota where everyone can live and thrive with dignity. Thank you.
Next, I'll invite Minnesota City Council member Jason Chavez to speak about how ICE terror is affecting our community members and what city leaders can do to fight back.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Chavez. I have the honor and privilege of representing Ward 9 on the Minneapolis City Council. I'm also the proud son of Mexican immigrants and proudly represent the 9th Ward, which is home to a large immigrant community here in the city of Minneapolis. And I bound to begin by saying that the presence of ICE in our community is meant to instill fear in the people that we love and care about. We hear the stories of family members, moms, fathers, people with children afraid to send their children to school and having to tell their children that they are safe in our schools when they know that may not be the case. And they do so because they want to make sure that their children are getting the education that they need to succeed in their life, but not knowing whether or not ICE is going to come into our schools and terrorize our family members. You have children of parents of immigrants who are scared to receive that call from their parents, knowing that one of their parents might be deported. You have family members of immigrants knowing that if you get that text message or that phone call, you don't know what's going to happen and that you might hear back that your parents may no longer be in this country. And you have family members being torn apart, being sent to countries that they have not been to for years, stripping them away from their entire identity and dehumanizing them. We live in a city here in Minneapolis where we say that we do not believe in the existence of ICE. We believe in the abolition of ICE, and that we believe in keeping families together. You know, the reason we're here today is because we do not want any more kidnappings happening in our community. We want ICE out of our city and in our country, and we want to make sure that families can stay together because we love our community members. One thing that we know that the city of Minneapolis can and will be doing, and I want to talk about it here today, is that we're going to be strengthening our separation ordinance. And we're going to do that by working with community members that are leading the work on the ground, because the folks on the grounds are the ones that are protecting our community. They're the ones that are getting the word out on how to uphold people's rights, because we know we have a government right now, the federal government, that does not care about due process and does not care about our community. So our community matters. We're going to keep being on the streets, And what we're going to tell ICE is that you need to stop separating our families. You need to uphold due process. And we're going to keep on pushing because what you're doing is just completely wrong.
Our final speaker is Noah from the Twin Cities Coalition for Justice, an organization demanding an end to police brutality and ICE terror.
Good afternoon. For the media present, my name is Noah, N-O-A-H. My last name is S-C-H-U-M-A-C-H-E-R. Again, my name is Noah, and I'm an organizer with the Twin Cities Coalition for Justice, also known as TCC4J. TCC4J proudly stands with the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee in demanding ICE stay out of all protected areas, including but not limited to churches, schools, hospitals, and the courts. Every person with a pulse should be outraged that masked and heavily armed agents in plain clothes are going into schools, churches, hospitals, and courts to arrest and deport human beings. People who are seeking asylum in this country deserve to have their hearings in front of a judge. They deserve to have their stories heard, no matter how long it takes for them to get in front of that judge. They deserve to get the opportunity to make their case for asylum here in Minnesota. Hennepin County officials and court administrators need to ensure that immigrant rights are protected and that due process is carried out. Although immigration courts are run by the DOJ, the point still stands that no one of good conscience should be assisting Trump's secret police. Immigration judges, along with county, city, and state leaders, need to do more to protect immigrant rights. We already saw how ICE, along with the federal task force, showed up on Lake Street last month in the heart of one of the state's most vibrant immigrant communities. The Hennepin County Sheriff collaborated with this federal task force on what they called a drug raid. Mass federal agents, including ICE, came into the Minneapolis immigrant community with their military vehicles and military-grade weapons and began assaulting community members, standing up for what they reasonably perceived as an ICE raid. And again, ICE agents were there in a sanctuary city. Contrary to the PR spin we heard from the mayor and other city leaders, the Minneapolis police, along with Chief O'Hara, showed up to protect these federal agents, and not the outraged community members who responded immediately to protect the immigrant community. The police should not be assisting ICE with crowd control. This is one of the many reasons why we at TCC4J are organizing for community control of the police through an all-elected Civilian Police Accountability Commission. Community control is about protecting all of us, including all immigrants. Immigration judges dismissing cases and allowing plainclothed ICE agents to arrest people without a hearing is an egregious attack on all of us. Due process rights have never been a guarantee for Black, brown, and indigenous people in this country. We are not far removed from that history of judges upholding white supremacy and acquitting murderers after lynching Black people. My father was born in a Jim Crow hospital. He is old enough to remember when Emmett Till lynchers were acquitted. And we know how due process looked for George Floyd, Amir Locke, Sandra Bland, Justin Tigan, and so many more stolen Black lives in recent memory. Our ancestors had to shed their blood for every right that was gained for Black folks in this country, and if we do not fight back and stand shoulder to shoulder with our immigrant siblings, then it's only a matter of time before they start coming for other communities. I want to state again that we at TCC4J are organizing and petitioning for community control of the police in Minneapolis through an all-elected Civilian Police Accountability Commission. We understand that in order to have self-determination, we need to have political power over those who have the monopoly on violence in our communities. And we understand that our struggles are connected, and we need to have a united front against the repression coming down from the Trump administration. We are proud to stand unapologetically here today to demand immigrant rights and their right to due process be upheld. Stop the deportations.
Stop the deportations! address to any of our speakers. So if there's any questions from the press.
I think it was the first speakers. Do you guys have a name? You referenced 4 people so that we can look up their cases? Names for the individuals?
We're not sharing names at this time out of respect to the individuals. We did not get permission to do that.
Do you have video or anything? I know that video's not allowed in there, but...
Yeah, we don't have video.
Any other questions?
Do you have any general idea of how many people have been detained here at Fort Snelling after the shooting?
No.
Do you have any idea of the number of people who've been detained?
No, we don't.
One more follow-up.
Yeah.
They said 4 people, but then they went on to say that this is happening every day. Can I get some clarification on that?
We witnessed 4 people. The judge who we were there when he was doing the court cases dismissed every case that we saw. So we inferred that this is happening every day under that judge, and we have some further clarification.
Yes, and then also we're not the only people doing court observation. So I do want to point out that we were actually here a couple weeks prior accompanying someone, and luckily that judge did not dismiss everyone's case over their objection. Judge Carr did not dismiss them, Judge Sardelli did. And when those cases were not dismissed, those people were not taken by the officers, the same officers that were in the hallway. So it is extremely important to understand that the dismissal of these cases and the compliance and willingness of the judges who directly report to and work for the Trump administration is what is causing these detentions and these expedited removals. But we do for a fact know, because there were ICOM, that Interfaith Coalition on Migration members that were there and were observing that morning, that did see people taken away by other judges that morning. So we have talked to other observers that have been here on other days, and we are well connected with our community and our community members. And we also know about people almost on a daily basis that we get reports of and hear about. So those are what we hear of, but we are 100% certain that these judges are still following the same orders, and so we know that people are being taken every day based on the number of reports that we get and our eyewitness accounts.
Just to clear, the judges are in communication with ICE and working with them?
There are definitely people that are in the courtroom that communicate with ICE on the outside. In the cases that we witnessed, we actually saw people that sat in the back of the courtroom and then later reported to the ICE agents on the outside and left with them. So we do know that ICE has people inside the courtrooms telling them who to detain on their way out.
Are those people government employees?
I didn't ask their names, and they're not real friendly.
Can we get your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Erica, E-R-I-K-A. Zarowski, Z-U-R-A-W-S-K-I, with the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. All right. So we want to thank everyone for coming. Krista and I are going to go ahead. Oh. We're going to be real loud right now, so you might want us to back up, all right? We do want to thank everyone for coming. We understand that real power is people power, and when everybody comes out like this, we call this press conference on less than 48 hours notice, in the middle of a day, and look at all of the people that are here today. What we do know is that people will not stand for this type of violence by our government, that people will keep showing up, and we will keep coming out, and we will keep fighting back. So we're going to do 2 chants to close this off, because the only way to close off any type of rally is with some chanting and a little bit of power. So let's hear it. I want everyone to repeat after me. We say justice, you say how?
We say justice, you say how?